Put a little bit of the rub, nigga, I gotta be safe.
Let's get to sports talk.
To give it to the Cowboys, number one, because the last time we saw them on the same field as the Eagles, they stomped them. That's number one. They ain't beat them, they stomped them. They stomped them out. Now, obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles, there has been reticence about your secondary, but Darby is back, Mills is back, McLeod and Jenkins are back in the secondary, so you anticipate that they'll be better. I would say to you that yesterday is no contest whatsoever because Mitchell Trubisky completing just 10 passes and 21 attempts, throwing for about 153 yards. He's just pathetic. I mean, you're the Chicago Bears. My condolences to you as a city, as a franchise, and everything in between. I don't know why we're not talking about the executive who elected to move up and get Mitchell Trubisky at the expense of Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson.
The two best players in the AFC.
Could you just imagine what the Chicago Bears would be like if one of those two brothers was their quarterback? We'd be talking about the Chicago Bears as
Once again, you did not know how Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes was going to be. Nobody predict, Deshaun Watson would be at a high level like this. No one predict Patrick Mahomes would be an MVP. Nobody did not know about that. That he was going to be this type of caliber player for Kansas City. No one ain't know that. Only thing people was saying that he had a nice arm. Nobody did know he was going to be top-notch quarterback in this league. You probably said that about Deshaun. I take that back. You can say that about him, but you ain't know Patrick Mahomes was going to be an MVP caliber quarterback. You didn't know that. You can say that now because you see what he's doing for Kansas City. No one ain't know this. And they sure didn't.
Your Super Bowl champions right now instead of the San Francisco 49ers, by the way. But getting back to Philadelphia in comparison to Dallas, let's be very, very clear. When we look at the Philadelphia Eagles, what happened? I think the key to all of this is Deshaun Jackson. When Deshaun Jackson is on the field, he gives you a vertical game. Without him, once again, Nelson Aguilar is out there. Alshon Jeffrey dropped another pass yesterday. Zach Ertz can only do but so much. You don't have a vertical passing game because none of them can gain that level of separation. Deshaun Jackson is supposed to be the guy to do it for you. He's out with an abdomen injury. He comes back. One drive, one catch, and then he's out. Nobody knows whether he retweaked his abdomen or whatever the case may be. Some people are speculating he shouldn't have came back yesterday. Next week is a bye week. Sit him out yesterday. Sit him out for the bye week. Bring him back 2 weeks from now. Then he'll be healthy. Now you're wondering whether he re-injured himself or whatever. You don't know what that situation is. So with that being a huge question mark, combined with us not knowing enough about their secondary as we would like to know, and Dallas having just stomped them a couple of weeks ago, I think it's only fair to say that right now the Dallas Cowboys, you have to give them the edge over the Philadelphia Eagles, even though I reserve the right in a few weeks to sit up there and say, hell no, Dallas is going home.
I'm gonna refute that in a second, but first I want to say, you know how you said Stephen A. Imagine what they would do if one of those two brothers was quarterback. I'm gonna bring this up every time this topic comes up now because it's got to be looked at. Other than Steve McNair and maybe Kyler Murray, kind of, sort of, although Baker Mayfield went one the year before, black quarterbacks rarely rise in the draft. You notice it. But white quarterbacks frequently do, out of proportion to where you think, oh, wait a minute. Oh, we see something in them. Look at what happens. Imagine the Bears with Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson, the number 1 and 2, along with Lamar Jackson, top 3 players who went last out of all the top quarterbacks in the first round. All right, let me get to the Eagles and tell you why it's the Eagles, Stephen A. And this is really the difference between these two teams. The Eagles have been more banged up than the Cowboys, but they both had injuries this time of year. The Eagles have been especially hurt with key players that really make them who they are. Deshaun Jackson, take the lid off the defense. Even his presence on the field, though not 100%, though not for the whole game, you could see it change the offense, give Carson Wentz a few more things to do. Injuries on the offensive line, different things like that have hampered the Eagles. Here's the difference. One team here has a Super Bowl winning coach, and the other does not. The other has a coach who people point and they go, he's the problem with the team. What have we seen, like in the AFC North, for example? Who are the teams that are still in contention in the AFC North, really? The Ravens. With Lamar Jackson, who have...
It's like the Eagles still could get in first place because Dallas still got to travel to Philadelphia. If Philadelphia be at their strong suit and have everybody healthy, they be ready to go against the Cowboys. They still got to play each other twice. They only played them once. So it's still going to come down to that game who could take the top spot in that division and have home field advantage in the playoffs. They still got to play each other twice. That division ain't run away by the Cowboys. The Eagles still have a chance to be in first place if they beat them the second time. Because that'll beat them the first time. If they could beat them at their home, they could be in first place.
Great coach in Harbaugh. They always compete. And the Steelers, who have been ravaged by trade and defections in terms of free agents and injuries, and are 4-4 because they have a great head coach in Mike Tomlin, and they compete. Harbaugh, Tomlin, Super Bowl winning coaches who are competing every year. The Eagles, Doug Peterson, a Super Bowl winning coach. And here are the Eagles having a very up and down season, but right in the thick of it. Guys, this is kind of a must-win for the Cowboys because it's the lowly Giants they're playing on the road, right? Like, you got to beat the Giants, and they should beat them.
Nipping at their heels. What are you talking about?
Exactly. They should beat the Giants, but, like, that would be an awful loss for the Cowboys, especially now. Ryan, Carson Wentz is not trying to force the ball down the field as much. He is kind of dinking and dunking. When Deshaun Jackson gets back, that should open up some down the field stuff for Carson Wentz too. I think the Eagles are in a better position than the Cowboys.
Well, Max, listen, it's really hard to do this show with Stephen A. with that sports coat on. I don't know if he's trying.
Where'd he go? I can't see him.
I don't know if he's trying to hide from us.
I know you ain't talking. I know you're doing that big doofy bow tie you wore a few weeks ago. That blinded your whole
living in the past.
You gotta stop living in the past.
I don't know who tricked you and talked you. You know what? That's what happened with GQ. Come out and do a suit. You get brave and you do things out of character.
Can I say something real quick? Listen,
GQ has been.
I know everyone read.
They are coming out with a feature on me. I
know it's been in the media. Stephen A. new contract and everything, but whoever did that to you, that's just wrong.
Max
Don't sell him that suit.
Everybody watching knows you can take lessons from me on a variety of things.
Back. However, dressing is not one of them.
That probably is when they're on the top of the list. You wear the same outfit every day.
Listen, a variation of it. That's all you got to do.
Consistency, Max. Consistency.
That's it.
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys.
Guys, can we please talk about sports? This is getting awkward.
I'm getting back to it. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys right now, and here's why. I know people say absence makes the heart grow fonder. Absence also makes us forget what we saw from them last. And the last time we saw them, they beat the Philadelphia Eagles, and the game wasn't close. They were more physical. They beat them down the field. Dak Prescott was better than Carson Wentz. He fumbled. He threw interceptions, and we have to remember that we saw that. On the other side of it, I do get that the Eagles are getting healthier defensively. Avonte Maddox is back. Jalen Mills, their number one corner, is back.
That's what you got to take from it. Cowboys took advantage of the Eagles because the Eagles wasn't healthy the first time they played them. This time around, the Eagles might be fully healthy and ready to go against them this time. If you have a fully healthy Eagles team, it'd be a way better game than it was the first time. So it's still up for grabs because Dallas ain't run away from it. Because Eagles still 5-4 and the Cowboys 5-3. It's still a up for grab division between them two.
Also, you have Ronald Darby. They also played Uncle Rico at quarterback the last 2 weeks in Josh Allen and Mitchell Trubisky. The thing that ails them is that they can't stop the pass on the outside. They get beat deep. They get beat over the top. They give up yards after the catch. When you play a team like they did in Chicago, when you play a team like they did in Buffalo, that plays to your strengths. The Dallas Cowboys right now are the best team in the NFC East. And to Max's point, they have to go show that tonight. The last time they went to MetLife and they played against a team in New York, it was the Jets, and Sam Darnold showed out.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming,